While I believe that the absolute best games will naturally be discovered, I also believe that a good game without marketing will fail to stand out with just how flooded the market is. I am not great at showcasing my games in the best light. With Platform Gun, my previous game, I did no marketing until the very end. As a result, it got free downloads within the first 24 hours on itch. I got a little more attention after I released it to Steam, but the saving grace was the My Game Failed video. Accumulating 17,000 views, I got to see the impact of getting eyeballs on my game. The result is that my game was clearly not good enough even as a free game. No amount of marketing was gonna save it. But here lies a cynical marketing lesson for indies. You will get attention if you talk about why your game failed. I didn't expect this to happen, and neither did Bite Me Games, but the end result is that you do get a bit of a player surge. When you're a literally who game developer, any attention is good attention. So if my next game, Healed to Death, doesn't do well, I will be making a video on why I think it failed because I know it gives the game a second chance. In the grand scheme of things, this isn't even that cynical. I've seen a lot of bad faith marketing. A common one for indie games is lying about quitting your job to make your dream game on R-Gaming. I think the worst one I've seen is somebody lying about becoming homeless with an almost complete game due to being kicked out from their homophobic parents disowning them. All of this was just to fund the Kickstarter. But in the indie space, most people don't care about you, so the harm ends up being minimal. So let's look at some bigger fish. Peter Molyneux is a developer that co-founded one of my favorite studios of all time, Bullfrog. After Bullfrog was sold to EA, he has slowly ruined his reputation by being the developer that cried wolf. And by that, I mean he has repeatedly lied about what his games actually are. I think the most egregious example of this is the Project Milo tech demo for Xbox back in 2009. The idea of this game was that Milo was this super advanced child AI that would react to your actions. The tech demo was completely fake as everything was scripted. But it was never released to customers, so it's not the worst thing in the world. No Man's Sky is another terrible situation. They promised an amazing, huge procedurally generated world with a ton of extra features, and what you got is a huge procedurally generated world, and that's it. They did patch in the features they promised over a number of years, and now a lot of people really like the game. Considering how they didn't get sued for their misleading advertising, I would actually call this a marketing win. Some people even think that Sean Murray, the lead, was just naive when promoting the game. I think that at best, this is willful ignorance. But there is one successful marketing move that I think truly deserves the title of being the most cynical. 2018 was a year where two major mobile games were announced. Both games were clear cash grabs on popular IPs with minimal artistic integrity. Both have been released now, and both games are exactly what most people thought they would be. But one game got a pass, and the other didn't. Diablo Immortal was announced at BlizzCon, which is a convention for the mostly hardcore PC fans of Blizzard. Given that this was their only game announced at the convention, people were not happy. To this day, the
"Did you guys not have phones?"
clip is used to shit on Blizzard. Blizzard was not expecting the backlash. I think that their marketing team wished they had announced Diablo 4 afterwards to mitigate the backlash and to nurture their mobile cash grab in a positive environment. But they didn't, and the entire thing became a shit show. But what if there was a company that had their own cash grab mobile game? And what if they anticipated a similar amount of outrage? So what if they announced the sequel of the major franchise right after announcing the mobile game? But what if the game wasn't in production yet? And what if the game hadn't even began pre-production? And what if the game took an additional 5 years before it even began active development? The Elder Scrolls Blades was a mobile game announced at Bethesda E3 to not a lot of excitement, but it was mostly spared by the wrath of gamers. The reason why The Elder Scrolls Blades did not get the hatred it deserved was because they announced The Elder Scrolls 6 right afterwards. It is literally just a landscape cinematic with a title saying The Elder Scrolls 6, and people ate it up. This, to me, is the most cynical marketing move in video game history. It plays to gamers' strong emotional connections with The Elder Scrolls. A connection so strong that people will literally get hyped over a title. All while Bethesda leadership knows full well that it will be almost a decade before they have anything to show. Marketing is always going to be a little dirty, but I feel like there is something morbidly sad about this. There are scams, outright lies, and campaigns where studios try to shame their audience into playing their game. But this isn't being treated like a black and white situation. People today still joke about the trailer like it's no big deal. It worked by taking advantage of a cultivated innocence. An innocence where even if people realize they are being fooled, they will justify being fooled as no big deal. It's not evil, it just successfully plays into how blind people are when they love something. It's not complicated, it's not sophisticated, it's stupid. And it worked. It showcased how Bethesda views their audience. And worst of all, at the time, it completely validated their perception. And that's why I think it's the most cynical marketing move in video game history.